You ever just stop and think about how much shopping has changed? Like, not even that long ago, online stores felt like, the big thing. But now AI is, well, it's everywhere in retail and changing everything. And it's not just like some futuristic idea anymore. It's here now, right here in North America.
It really is. And
hmm
that's exactly what we're diving into today. Artificial intelligence in retail. We've been digging into articles, research, all sorts of things. One that really stood out was AI in retail. The Intelligent Revolution, Reshaping How We Buy and Sell. Pretty catchy title, huh?
Yeah, definitely grabs your attention.
And the point of this deep dive, well, we really want to get into the nitty-gritty of how AI is transforming retail.
Mm.
But more importantly, what it all means for, well, for us as shoppers, when we're actually out there buying stuff.
For our everyday lives.
Yeah, exactly. And to give you an idea of just how big this is, global spending on AI in retail, it's predicted to be a whopping $23.4 billion by 2027.
Whoa.
That's up from $5.9 billion in 2022. So you can see this is a pretty massive shift.
Huge.
And what's interesting is if you zoom in on Canada and the U.S., there's some unique things driving AI adoption in each country.
Hmm.
So in Canada, the pandemic, well, it really pushed things online,
It
right?
definitely did. A lot of changes really fast.
And that forced a lot of retailers to adopt AI just to keep up, to deal with all the new online demand. Now, in the U.S., it's a bit different. The U.S. market, it's super competitive. So AI is becoming essential there for retailers to, do things more efficiently and create really amazing customer experiences to, well, to stand out from the crowd.
To give them an edge.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's break down exactly how this AI stuff is affecting us when we shop. I think there are going to be some aha moments for our listeners as we get into the specifics.
I think so, too.
So let's start with something that's, well, pretty personal. Hyper-personalization.
So think about it this way. Remember when you'd see those generic, you might also like suggestions online?
Oh, yeah.
Well, those days are kind of fading away.
I've noticed that. It's not just random stuff anymore.
Exactly. Now, with AI, those recommendations are getting super smart.
Yeah.
We're talking systems that look at way more than just your past purchases.
Really? Like, what?
I mean, think about your browsing history, what you click on, how long you spend looking at certain items, even things like, believe it or not, the weather in your area. AI takes it all into account to try and tailor your shopping experience.
So they're trying to, predict what I might want before I even know I want it?
In a way, yeah. And this granular level of personalization, it goes beyond just convenience. It really taps into some deep psychological drivers that can build loyalty and encourage repeat purchases.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
It really is. And potentially manipulative, too, if we're being honest.
That's true. I guess it all depends on how it's used.
Absolutely.
Okay, so give us an example of this in action, something we can all relate to.
Sure. Think about Loblaws here in Canada and their PC Optimum program. That's a great example of this kind of AI in action. It uses your purchase history, like what you buy week after week, to offer you those personalized deals. And the more you interact with it, the more it learns and the better those recommendations get.
It's like it gets to know you.
Exactly.
So are there any downsides to this kind of hyper-personalization?
Well, some people worry about the privacy implications, right? AI needs data to work its magic, and that data is coming from us.
Our shopping habits, our preferences?
Yeah, all of that. And Canada's privacy laws, specifically PIPEDA, are pretty strict about requiring consent before companies can use our data. So retailers need to be very transparent about how they're using our information.
That makes sense. So while hyper-personalization can be super convenient, it also raises some important questions about data privacy. Something to think about. Okay, moving on. Another way AI is changing things for us as shoppers is, it's changing how we discover and evaluate products, especially online.
Right. So the big things here are visual search and virtual try-ons. Have you used those at all?
Oh, yeah, those are pretty cool. I was actually just looking at a new desk online, and I used the virtual try-on feature to see how it looked in my office.
Perfect example. And that's exactly what's so exciting about AI in this area. It's bridging the gap between the physical and digital shopping experiences. So with visual search, if you see something you like, maybe a cool jacket on someone or a lamp in a magazine, you can just snap a picture, upload it, and AI will search the entire internet to find similar items for sale. And then those virtual try-ons, they often use augmented reality, to show you how those sunglasses or that new sofa would look in your actual space, all through your phone or computer.
I'm really impressed by how realistic those AR try-ons are getting.
Me too. And Shopify is really investing in this technology, which is great for smaller businesses. It means they can offer these AI-powered tools to their customers too. And from the retailer's perspective, think about returns. When you can actually try on a product virtually, you're less likely to send it back, which saves everyone a lot of hassle.
Less waste, too.
Exactly. Less waste, less hassle, everyone wins.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about AI personalizing our experience, helping us discover and visualize products. Now let's get into how we actually interact with retailers, and I think this is where AI assistants and chatbots come in.
Yeah, often called conversational commerce. In this area, it's come a long way. You remember those early chatbots?
Oh, yeah, they were kind of clunky, not very helpful.
Yeah, robotic and not that helpful. But now with AI, those assistants are getting really sophisticated.
Yeah.
They can answer tons of questions, give you detailed product information, even offer personalized recommendations, all while feeling like you're having a real conversation.
It's amazing how natural they can sound these days.
And they're constantly learning, getting better with every interaction.
So give us an example of this kind of conversational commerce in action.
Sure. Walmart is doing some really interesting things in this area. They have this internal tool called Ask Sam for their employees.
Ask Sam.
Yeah. It helps employees quickly find stuff in the store and answer customer questions right there on the floor.
So it's like having an AI assistant in your pocket to help you navigate the store?
Yeah, exactly. And then they also have customer-facing chatbots on their website to handle all sorts of inquiries online.
So it's like having that 24/7 support.
That's the key. This instant support is a game changer. You know, these AI assistants, they can answer questions around the clock, which makes customers happier. And it also frees up human employees to focus on more complex issues.
So it's a win-win.
Exactly. More efficiency, happier customers.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've seen how AI is changing the way we shop and interact with stores. But it's not just about what we see as customers. There's a whole other level of AI working behind the scenes, stuff most of us probably never even think about.
So true. Like inventory management, that's a huge one.
Yeah, keeping the shelves stocked, it's got to be a nightmare for retailers, especially with supply chain issues and everything these days.
It's a huge challenge.
Love
But
it.
AI is changing the game here. Think
Yeah.
about it. Instead of just relying on, last year's sales data, AI is analyzing mountains of information to predict what people will want and when. We're talking historical sales, but also seasonal trends, weather forecasts, even social media and economic indicators. It's mind-blowing.
So it's not just looking back, it's looking ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Predicting the future. And the results can be amazing. Take Canadian Tire, for example. They've implemented AI for their inventory, and they've seen a 40% reduction in those out-of-stock situations.
Wow, that's huge. So fewer empty shelves for us shoppers.
Exactly. Plus, they've decreased excess inventory by 15%.
So less waste for them.
Exactly. They're using AI that takes over 1,000 variables into account. You can't do that manually.
Makes you wonder how they ever managed without AI.
I know, right?
Okay, so we've talked about inventory, but what about the prices we see? It feels like they're fluctuating more than ever these days, especially online.
That's dynamic pricing, and AI is driving it big time. So instead of, setting prices and leaving them, retailers are now using algorithms to constantly adjust them in real time.
In real time, so they're changing, like, all the time.
Pretty much. And it's based on all sorts of factors, like demand for the product, what competitors are doing, how much inventory they have, even how much they think an individual customer is willing to pay.
That last one's a little creepy.
It is. And there are definitely some ethical concerns around dynamic pricing. If it's not implemented carefully, it can erode consumer trust. Retailers need to be transparent about how they're using it.
That makes sense.
But it's becoming super common, even in traditional stores.
So are they using it on everything?
Not always. It's especially common for clearance items and things like that, or during busy shopping periods.
I guess it's all about maximizing profit.
Yeah, and moving inventory quickly.
Okay, so AI is making things more efficient in stores and online. What about the journey the products take to actually get to those shelves?
The supply chain. Yeah, another area where AI is making a huge impact. Things like predictive maintenance, using AI to prevent equipment breakdowns before they happen. Road optimization for delivery trucks, so they save time and fuel. And then there's automation in those massive fulfillment centers, speeding up order processing.
It's all about streamlining everything.
Exactly. Efficiency, resilience, cost effectiveness. Those are the goals.
Right. And I remember reading about Walmart Canada using blockchain in their supply chain.
Yeah, they partnered with a company called DLT Labs and created this system that uses AI and blockchain together. So the AI analyzes all the delivery data, tracks shipments in real time, and then blockchain is like a super secure digital ledger, right?
Hmm.
So they use that to create an immutable record of every transaction. And the result is they've drastically reduced the time it takes to resolve disputes by like 83%. That's massive.
It's amazing how much AI is being used in areas we don't even realize. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. Say you're a retailer listening to this and you're thinking, okay, this all sounds important, but where do I even start? What advice would you give them?
Well, especially for mid-sized retailers, it can be a bit overwhelming, right? I mean, there are so many different AI applications out there.
So many options.
My advice would be start small. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick one or two specific areas where AI could make a real difference for your business, and then focus on those.
So pick a problem you need to solve and see if AI can help.
Exactly. There's a clothing company in Montreal, Frank and Oak, and that's basically what they did. They started with a pretty basic recommendation engine for their online store.
And a dipping their toes in.
Yeah, exactly. And they saw good results, more sales, happier customers. And then they gradually started using AI in other areas like inventory management, customer service. It's a smart approach. You prove the value as you go.
Build confidence.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about something I've been wondering about. Should retailers try to build their own AI solutions, or should they just use those off-the-shelf platforms?
It's a tough call, honestly. It depends on a lot of factors.
I imagine building your own AI is pretty complex and expensive.
Oh, yeah. It takes serious technical know-how, a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it can give you a unique advantage if you can pull it off. On the other hand, using existing platforms can be much faster and cheaper to get started.
So it's a trade-off.
It is. A lot of retailers are actually doing a mix of both. They might use a platform for the basics, like product recommendations, but then build their own AI for things that are, really core to their business, things they want to be really good at.
So kind of a hybrid approach.
Exactly. Like Indigo, the bookstore chain here in Canada, they use standard recommendation engines, which makes sense, but they develop their own AI specifically for managing their inventory. Books are complex, They need to be really strategic about what they stock.
So it's about playing to your strengths.
Exactly. Figure out what's most important and focus on that.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the technology, but what about the people who actually work in retail? I'm curious, with all this AI, are employees worried about being replaced by robots?
It's a valid concern. Anytime you introduce automation, there's going to be some anxiety. Retailers need to be really thoughtful about how they manage this change. Communication is key. Employees need to understand how these AI tools will help them, not replace them. And training is crucial. They need to know how to use these tools effectively.
So it's about empowering employees, not replacing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Best Buy is a good example here. They implemented AI for inventory management, but they also made sure to train all their employees on how to use it. They showed them how it would make their jobs easier, less manual work, fewer stockouts.
So everyone's on board.
Exactly. That's the goal.
Okay, final question. What does the future hold for AI in retail? Where do we go from here?
Oh, man. The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. We're moving towards what's called ambient intelligence. It's like imagine a world where technology just fades into the background. You don't even notice it, but it's there, anticipating your needs.
Like those smart homes you see in movies.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the retail world, like have you heard of Amazon Go stores?
The ones where you just walk in, grab what you want, and walk out.
Yeah, exactly. No checkout lines. AI does it all. That's ambient intelligence.
That's pretty wild.
And it's not just Amazon. There are Canadian startups working on similar things. Focal Systems, for example, they're developing what they call shelf intelligence. It uses cameras and AI to automatically track inventory in real time. So if something's running low, the system knows instantly.
So no more empty shelves.
Hopefully. And the goal is, it's all about making shopping more convenient, less friction.
So what's the next step?
I think we're headed towards what's called predictive commerce. So imagine AI not just reacting to what you buy, but actually anticipating what you'll need before you even know it.
So they'll know what I need before I do.
Yeah, think about those subscription services like Amazon Subscribe and Save. Those are kind of early examples.
Where you get your toothpaste delivered automatically every month.
Exactly. But in the future, it'll be way more sophisticated. Imagine your fridge ordering groceries for you based on what you eat, what's in season, even the weather. Or your favorite clothing store putting together outfits for you based on your style and upcoming events.
Like a personal stylist powered by AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing to think about.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's safe to say AI isn't just some futuristic thing anymore. It's here,
Right.
and it's fundamentally changing how we buy and sell.
No doubt about it. For retailers, AI is becoming essential if you want to stay competitive. It's all about efficiency, understanding your customers better, creating better experiences.
And for shoppers, it means more convenience, more personalized products and services.
Exactly.
So as you're listening to this, think about it. What does this shift towards predictive commerce mean for you? Do you like the idea of AI making shopping decisions for you? Or does it feel a bit too, I don't know, big brother-ish?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Where do we draw the line between convenience and control? What do you think? What aspects of this AI-powered future excite you and what concerns you? It's definitely something worth pondering.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.